It looks like we're entering the summer of 2026 with blockbusters.
Gird
The
your
first
loins.
one,
Oh,
wait,
sorry,
what?
I thought you had a pause there.
But what'd you say?
Gird your loins.
Why would I gird my loin? Guard or gird? Wait, what?
Gir- First of all, that's
Guard my
like
loins?
gird your loin. Yeah, it's a quote from
Gurge? Gird?
GIRD.
Okay, that's first for me. That's first for me. But we had Project Hail Mary, which really kicked off, even though, yeah, springtime was around is springtime. So we're entering that, blockbuster season. We've already have it now with premiere of Michael that came out that I heard is rocket is the critics are crushing it and the audience is praising it. I have not seen it. I'm still on the fence of to see it or not because from what I'm hearing, it's more about playing the greatest hits, like showing his nephew, who's in the title role, just redoing everything that we already seen in the music videos and all that stuff, and the live performances, what have you. I don't know. I remember Jackson, the American Family Story, the miniseries that was once on ABC, I believe, like several years ago, that had the story. But I don't know. Are you interested in seeing it? I know Mom probably is.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And they say the way it ended that it's like somewhat like of a cliffhanger because it gets to like before the scandals. It goes into like when he becomes his album of Bad and maybe some other performances and what have you afterwards. That there may be a sequel. People on social media. The sequel is going to be Jackson, which I think is pretty genius. And if that's the case, let it be. But anyway, coming up in May 1st, by the time of hopefully we get this done before it comes out, is the sequel of the 2020 of the 2006 hit. Is it a hit? Because on Rotten Tomatoes, it is scored at 75% by the critics and 76% by the audience. The Devil Wears Prada. I want to get your hit on it because to me, after rewatching it only for the second time,
Mhm.
I see where the story was going. But let's discuss.
Yes.
Welcome back to A Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm a Don.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert. Was this the first time of you watching this?
Second time.
When did you see it the first time? For me, because I think I saw it, if my memory remembers,
This
that is,
this
I
was
saw it in the
back in
theater.
the no, I didn't watch it in theaters. This was back in the Blockbuster days. Probably one of my free rentals.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
And this was Emily Blunt's first international role because she was acting overseas, starting there in London.
Okay.
And I have to say, she was, oof. I know it's bad for me to say. I know it's like being misogynistic,
Yes.
but she looked
But I
very
mean,
plain.
but well, okay. First of all, she was not playing. She was done up, like makeup, every other scene and
That's what I'm
outfits. Yeah.
saying.
So
That's what I'm, yes.
why is she playing for that?
Was she what?
Why is she playing for being done up and with makeup and outfits? You said she was very plain.
Well, that's what I'm saying in the sense of like, okay, how she looks now in that sense, far attractive now, in my opinion, than she did there. Anne Hathaway's character was very plain when we see her.
Okay.
She didn't care what she pulled stuff, whatever was on the rack. She didn't tuck it in the sense of the clothing to shape her body. She didn't get it tailored. Whatever she pulled, right? That was her role.
Okay.
And then later on, it gets better. But no, with Emily Blunt, and again, it is what it is. In the sense of her stunning beauty that we know her of, for a long time. It's not as was like I said, she was a little heavy. And the way they had her makeup done, yes, it was like over the top makeup in the sense of her eye makeup, which was covering like the whole eye and upper eye, what have you. It was
Okay.
very theatrical, very theatrical. Like you have then Meryl Streep's character, the way she looked, it wasn't all done up. It was very stylized. Her makeup was done well. Her hair was on point. I mean, she was awesome. I mean, she was awesome in screen presence.
Now, I should preface when I ask these questions, I'm not a fashion guy. You have
Fair
more
enough.
access to that
Fair
industry
enough.
than I've ever had in my life. So
Do I? Do
why?
I?
Because well, you've done
No,
modeling
do
and
I? Do I? Not why. Yes, I've done modeling my stuff like that, but
Yeah.
but I was also, but the thing is, I never
You didn't do
into
runways?
that. I did a couple here and there,
Yeah. Well, what I
but
mean by that is like my clothes are comic book related. They're very just comfy and quirky
so
suits.
was I. Yeah, but I mean, for me too, I was more of a guy like I remember going to one audition in Philly, checking out like new talent. Everyone was dressed like to the nine
Okay.
and in black because black was that's the ultimate color to wear and that's just like that. Dude, I went to this thing wearing cross colors. Do you remember cross colors?
Like crisscross?
Well, no,
Make a
that's a
one you
music
jump?
group. No, no, but Cross Colors was a brand. Like it was
Clearly not then.
like LL Cool J was like one of the like not the founders, but like one of like from Fubu. Yeah, Cross Colors by Fubu. I think I'm probably getting it wrong, but anyway, Cross Colors was a thing where it was like these bright colors, kind of baggy looks, and that
Oh,
kind of stuff.
yeah,
Like
because I
very
remember
very
like
hip
getting some
hop.
hand-me-downs from you, and I'm like, these are bright color clothes.
Yes, and they're like they're very more in the hip hop world.
Yeah.
That's what I was worn in. So I remember going to these things, and I'm like standing out. Granted, sometimes it worked out in my favor because I stood out in multiple ways.
Yeah.
I stood out in multiple ways. But yeah, and I did some runway like you mentioned, and I was not really a fan. I was not really into that world. I didn't like that world because it was just as like in here, it was all about the look, but without the substance. It lacked soul,
Okay.
and that's how a lot of it is in these fashion world. Is how do you look? It's not who you are, is how you look.
Gotcha.
But in this movie though, what's different is that you have here multiple things. You have the Daniel-san and Miyagi. You have the Rocky and the Mickey. You have Master and Apprentice, Star Wars. Okay, right?
Okay.
You have you do
I mean,
you
that's a
do have
close
that.
that's going to be a closer analogy than the Mickey and Rocky and Daniel-san and Miyagi.
But no, in a sense, you have like a master and a student. You have this
Yeah.
person, and also this reminded me of a mixture of Pretty in Pink and My Fair Lady. In a sense of you have someone, Anne Hathaway's character, Andy, that she wants to just get this job just to get experience in some kind of journalism because she wants to be a journalist, like a hard-nosed journalist for a newspaper
And get a good credit.
public, right? So you have her getting some kind of, even though she's not writing stories or articles for the publication, runway publication, she's an assistant of an assistant to
Yeah.
the main person, Miranda, of a publication. She's just doing it for experience. She's just doing it for credits as an intern, and interns usually don't get paid, so it's like you're going through hell here.
Hmm.
And but through this ordeal and this experience, she becomes established in what the criteria is. She puts away the baggy clothes and stuff like that, and then with the help of Stanley Tucci's character Nigel, she starts to become more appropriate in the work field, in the
Yeah.
workforce, and then he starts getting opportunities besides of just not looking the part, but also getting ahead of what's being asked of. Later, she's like, Miranda's telling her, I need this, I need this. Oh, that's already done. That's already done. That's already here. Boom, boom, boom. But granted, she was struggling at first. So in the movie like My Fair Lady, or in
Pretty in
Julia
Pink.
Roberts, did I say Pretty in Pink?
You
Pretty
said
Woman,
pretty.
I meant.
Oh, Pretty Woman.
That's what I meant to say. Pretty Woman.
Haven't seen
That
any of those three.
oh, wow.
I'm familiar. I've just
Ooh.
never watched them.
All right. Well, My Fair Lady, and in my opinion, Pretty Woman, is an adaptation to Taming of the Shrew,
Okay.
which is Shakespeare.
Okay.
Where it is like someone who's rough, a lady who is rough and uneducated, blah 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 blah, then starts getting formed into a proper liking or something like that to be more appealing
Uh
and
huh.
stuff like that. Like in My Fair Lady, yeah, that was Audrey Hepburn. She's from the streets, from London. Like, hello, sir, can I? Like talking with like bad English and all that stuff, uneducated, and then starts to become dressing more appropriately, able to fit into society more better, able to talk without
I'm,
slang and all that stuff. So
I forget what it's called, but there's a like a teen romance movie where they do that. Like a guy makes a bet that he can go to prom with this girl and
Right, right, yeah. Oh
and turn
yeah,
her into like a gorgeous prom queen.
yeah, right,
And they do
right,
that again in Not Another Teen Movie, and it's a
right.
trope.
And there's another my Pygmalion. I think I'm probably wrong, but I think that's also influenced of My Fair Lady. But anyway, that's how I saw it here, and it was also like a coming of age story for Andy in the sense of learning right from wrong, going through hell in a way to get through heaven in the sense of what she had to ordeal like that. But you were
Mhm.
saying I cut you off in the sense of what other movie that was reminding you of something?
Oh, no, I was saying I couldn't remember the title of it, but, like, we basically touched on it. It basically, like, you're right, she goes through hell, she goes through temptations and bits of
Yes.
corruptions, which I'm gonna call it right now, every time I see a romantic comedy of some kind, there's always someone that's trying to step in to either break up the relationship and be like, "I'm a better option,"
Hmm.
and then that person falls for the temptation, and then either a, that, they realize the better option is truly better, or B, just go
What
back
they
to the other
had.
one. Yeah, what they had.
Yeah.
I'm It's always weird. There's very few romantic comedies that I find that, like, they just kinda make things work. They have ups and downs, but there's never, like,
Right.
not a third party. But just had to
Right.
get
Well,
that off my
here, like,
chest.
no, yeah, I get it, but like here though, she ends up with nobody
Which is true, which is true. And no, not
because the
necessarily.
good. Well, no, because the
No.
homeboy goes back to Boston.
He goes back to
The
Boston, and
chef.
he said, "Maybe we can make it work." It's because of 2 we know that
Yeah,
yeah. He's like, "It's not like, like, that you can't do this in Boston." So they kinda leave it open. And 2,
yeah. Well,
based on
yeah.
the trailer, I'm deducing that he's no longer in the picture.
I have not seen the trailer for the second movie. I'm like curious, and the way it ended, I'm like, why the hell would she go back? The
Granted,
way it
she got a
ended, she
job.
left. She left, right? But
Yeah,
she quit. She quit. On her own merit. She walked away from all the glory and all the beauty of that lifestyle and the financial. She left that on her own merit. Because she became her own woman, her own
true.
person. You know,
After
and
she has
that's
already got most of the stuff, got hooked up with the
right,
guy, did all this other
right.
stuff.
But I have to say here because what's cool about this, like I haven't seen this in a while, and when because this is the second time I've actually seen it, I liked it the first time. I thought it was pretty good, and seeing it here again, I was like, this is a really pretty good movie. But two things: this is one hell of an ad for T-Mobile Sidekick
100%.
at the time.
Because
At the time,
that was one of the things that I remember to advertise about T-Mobile Sidekick. You're on the go. You got your life. Either you're the cool kid with the sidekick that could flip it, or you're the business
yeah.
person with the sidekick that could flip it. That was their go-to thing.
But you also had BlackBerry that had this that served the same thing.
Absolutely, but
BlackBerry, but that was
Sidekick
T-Mobile's
was,
radical.
yeah,
T-Mobile's
it was their
radical,
radical
yeah.
pitch. I agree.
But also, it was nostalgia for me.
Okay.
This movie because it was based in New York, and a lot of stuff that I saw in that movie, I was like, "Damn, I was there when I lived in New York for about like what 15 years." I was like, "Holy shit!" Like that. There's a scene
Mhm.
where she's giving her friends gifts at a restaurant.
Yeah. You were
One
at
of
that
them, right?
restaurant?
Yes, it was the coffee shop. It's no longer there. It was a landmark in Union Square.
Uh,
When I saw that, I was like, all these memories flushed into my head. Because for one, that restaurant, great food, great atmosphere. You'll see celebrities there. Like I saw a few celebrities there. But
oh,
Julianne Moore was, yeah, yes, she was. I seen her there. With her, she's small, gorgeous woman, but god damn, she's small. I think I think she's under 5 foot.
oh,
And then I see a scene. I was like, and I remember I was like, I think I know a friend of mine is in this movie. And it was. I saw this. There's a scene where he's an extra, but he's a predominant extra. His name is Lincoln. That's what he went by. He's a former model turned actor and stuff like that. I'm not sure what he's doing now, but he was acting back then. And he has a good scene where Andy meets the Temptation, that guy.
Simon Baker, who played Christian Thompson, I believe.
Right. And then my friend Lincoln, he's back there. He has like long hair. I think he has a hair in a bun in that scene. Anyway, so I was like, oh boy, that's my, we were good friends. And so it was cool to see him that in there. Stanley Tucci, holy crap, was he good as well in this movie?
For me, the best performance. I love Stanley Tucci. No, I haven't seen all his work, but I can't think
Right.
of one that I have seen him in where he just didn't stand out, even as a voice actor, where I'm like, damn, Stanley Tucci, man. Gotta love him.
Yeah. And I think this is like this is the movie that like it launched Emily Blunt's career. this one, internationally, it launched, it helped, right?
Yeah.
But like in the sense of Stanley Tucci, it took him further from where he was, and his style, like the way he dresses here, you see it like continue on
I mean, I feel like
here,
that's
like
just natural
to nowadays.
style.
Well, damn, can he dress?
Yeah.
Can he has style, dude. He made the look of a vest wearing inside your pants look cool. Did you notice that? Did you see that
No.
scene? Oh my god. It's the scene where Andy shows up. It's about it's in Paris. It's towards the end
Yeah.
where he tells her that he's leaving Runway to be with
Oh, the apartment. Yeah,
John,
where he's celebrating early.
yeah, in the hotel. Yeah, in the hotel with James Holt. But he sees her. He sees her dress. He's like, turn around. Let me look at you. And he's like, wow, girl. And then she says she's no longer a 6 but a 4. And he's
Hmm.
like, okay. But that outfit he's wearing, sharp as hell, but he has his vest tucked in his pants. And I'm like, wow, that fucking works. That looks sharp. It's like
Never
I
would
would
have
never do it.
anticipated.
But excuse me, yes, but it works for him. I had a friend in New York as well. And I think I mentioned before, like he had the same style as Brad Pitt in Fight Club, that character.
Okay.
And the thing is, for some people, certain clothes, certain looks works on that person. It would not work for me. It would not work for but it worked, but also in the sense of your attitude with it. He
Yeah.
didn't care how he looked. But it looked good. Because he'll have like that heavy winter trench coat with the fake fall fur on the collar, and
Yeah.
then wear sweatpants with the trim like Adidas, and wear dress shoes with a tank top, and it would just work for him. It just worked. I was like, I know I can't pull it off, but it worked with him. And with Stanley Tucci, the way he dressed, any way he dressed, it looked smashing on him. I was like, damn, this is you said your second time seeing it
Yeah.
in a world that you're not familiar. I would say, I'm somewhat familiar with that world in the sense of what my modeling days and my acting days, but I never wasn't, like I said, I was never attracted to that. I tried. I'm like, this. I feel like ill. But how
So
did you feel in this sense?
okay, so my opinion, it's a solid film. It's a good put together film.
Right. Yeah.
As a just objectively looking at it that way. I would say for me, not really interested in it. Like I didn't laugh. I can see the humor and I can see the appreciation in certain things, and I see the storyline and like so I can everything that's there to really appreciate. But it did not captivate me. But that's because that's not my world, not my kind of thing.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And
Totally understandable.
so those notes go past my head.
I get it. I totally get it.
Someone may watch like an anime movie that you and I would suggest and be like, "That's a great movie," and they'll watch it and they'll be like, "I can see why it's be a good movie." Still not for me. Uh,
Or like Invincible. Like we text each other about the last season of Invincible. Yeah,
yes,
it's animated, right? It's an animation show. It's cartoon in the world of superheroes and all like that. But the story itself is freaking so well written, is so captivating because of what's going on and like and the players involved
talk about D
in
and D
that
with
story.
you.
They made it. Oh my god, forget about it.
Yeah, well, you understand where I'm coming from, and you even like some of some of the products and like the cartoons, but you can't get into it because it's like it's hard for you to
Right. I
immerse
mean,
yourself
well,
into that.
yeah, well, of course, like Vox Machina, I get into that because I know the story behind it, how it was created.
Yeah,
That I'm into that, and it says how these stories evolved. But anyway,
correct.
to go back to here, yeah, I mean, it's a world that you and I really don't know, especially you, but even with me, I don't know. But again, like this film for me was like hit nostalgia in the sense of my time in New York, but
Hmm.
you can see it deeper in the sense of coming of age,
Correct.
where she lost herself. She knew what she wanted in the beginning. Then she lost her way with all the distraction and the glamour and the glitz and all that stuff. And
Yeah,
then she found her way back. I think you said it earlier. She was tempted. So it's very like religious if you go into that realm.
absolutely. Well, hence
You
the
know,
Devil
that
Wears Prada.
right.
To be in that life at the end of the movie, basically what they depicted is like to be in that life, you have to be willing to become something you don't like and make decisions and choices
Right.
that's going to hurt
Well, you
others to make
right,
yourself
because
successful.
exactly, because you see like where Miranda for what she does, she sacrifices her family. Well, her marriage, definitely her marriage, because she's getting a divorce.
Well, and she even comments like her setting aside the marriage, she comments about her biggest regret arguably is her kids, because she's like,
Hmm.
they could say anything about her, she doesn't care, but it's what her kids are going to go through in the newspapers and the advertisements and everything like that.
Right. Yes, exactly. Right, right,
Hmm.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. You see in that moment that she is human with feelings.
Yes.
She's not soulless, but she has the, there was like you saw a break in the armor,
Correct.
but still, she had, like at the end when they make eye contact, her Miranda and Andy at the in New York while she's getting into her car, Miranda has this shield again,
Yeah.
and then she takes off her glasses. She makes a smirk, and she looks at the driver's like, "What are you waiting for? Let's go."
Yes.
It's,
And that's exactly right. That's a shield, that's an armor. Essentially a coping mechanism to
mhm.
protect herself and keep her going, no matter what the situation, like that harshness.
But I'm saying, like, besides of this being a coming of age story,
Yeah.
is also a beautiful display of woman empowerment.
Hmm.
You have Miranda, who's has his power, strength, and the position that she has. You have Andy, who is getting that as well. And again, as she's finding her place, she's finding her identity. That's a source of women empowerment too. It doesn't have to be woman, but it is because it deals with the majority is of women, where the individual, the star, the sub happens to be woman, and they find their strength within themselves.
Yeah.
Like an Andy was able to break off, and then you have Emily Blunt's character, which is funny. Her name is Emily, so Emily Blunt's character's name is Emily, and she's still locked in. She's drawn to the lights, the glitz, the glamour, all that stuff, the champagne. That's her drug, if you will,
Yeah.
that she will not leave. Where and like I said, it's very Star Wars in the sense of like at the Return of the Jedi, where Palpatine is, trying to get Luke to turn over, turn over, turn over. And then at that moment when he sees his father's cut off hand and sees his own hand, he throws away the lightsaber, which is that lightsaber for here, that lightsaber represents
The psychic.
her walking away is Luke throwing away that lightsaber.
Well, I got the reference.
Not,
I was
not
just
that,
saying
not,
that the psychic going into a water fountain was that, because that's when
psychic going to water fountain.
the psychic phone from T-Mobile.
Oh, the
And
sidekick. Oh, the way you said the way you pronounced it, I thought it's like psychic, like a mind reader,
yes,
not
she just kicked a
sidekick.
mind reader into
Pro-
water.
Do the pronunciate a little better. Pronunciate just a little bit better. But I mean, it was nice to see Giselle there make a cameo.
Mm,
I know you don't know what I'm talking about. I know you don't
nah.
know what I'm talking about. Tom
Oh,
Brady's ex-wife. She was a
I
former Brazilian model. Her voice was super deep, but it was nice. She looked hot with glasses on. She looked
I
pretty
mean,
yummy with the
if she's
glasses.
a model, I
But
hope she looks hot, child.
oh, no, 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 no.
That's not a
There
thing.
are some top models. No, there are some top models
Uh-huh.
that you're like, really?
Well, everybody
Ugh.
has a type.
Of course, I get it. They had that attitude. They had that look. Yes, I've seen it. Like there's a okay. Break off again. Fifth Element. There's a top model there. Light
But
skinned black woman with a lot of freckles. A lot of freckles.
I
I'm
thought you were
sorry.
gonna say
I
Mila
find her
Jovovich.
extremely. No, no, no. But she was a model too. Yes. But I'm just saying here that one chick, top model at the time, I found her extremely unattractive. But her attitude on the runway, on her shoots, what made her extraordinary
Gotcha.
because of that aspect.
The
So you know what I'm saying.
personality. Wear the
But anyway,
clothes confidently.
yeah, but sometimes it comes off because sometimes you have great personality, but it doesn't come off on camera or on the runway or on screen. But for that one model, yes,
And slightly to change subject here, but you did ask
yeah.
at the very beginning, was this movie like successful or like well received?
Oh yes, the budget. What was the budget for this?
Estimated 35 million,
That
right?
was the budget.
Yeah, I heard
Oh
in
wow.
one of the discussions, like for the second movie, that apparently like when this movie came out, they had a hard time getting outfits and whatnot. Now they're just being thrown
Hmm.
outfits just to be in the movie. So
Of course, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
I imagine like that affected the budget for the upcoming film. but
Gross
gross
worldwide.
326,588,371.
That's a hit. I mean, I never read the book, so I didn't know what's
Same.
coming from. And then, yeah, so and then watching this movie, and like I said, I like that. I knew where it was coming from. I saw it through Andy's point of view, through her eyes, what she was going through. Yes, you did
Mhm.
hit some points where when there's a love interest and then there's temptation, and they go because it was just something different.
Yeah. I mean, she
Um,
even got called out by
they're
her
wrapped into that world.
she even got called out by, like, her own best friend, who we don't even know she even mended those bridges with her best friend, because her best friend was like, "I
Right.
don't
Yeah,
know you
exactly.
anymore."
And the thing, it wasn't even that crazy. Like the guy gave her a kiss goodbye, and all she did was follow him leave. And
She
it
clocked the
wasn't
look.
like they kissed. I know, but the thing is, like, they didn't kiss on the lips or anything like that. She didn't like hold his hand or made a face like, God damn, I want that a piece of him. She didn't do that. She just looked at him and, like, and then turned away. And then she saw her friend looking at her. I was like, oh my. But maybe, hey, women's intuition. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, I mean,
So,
that's one of those things, like,
yeah,
supposedly, if it's your best friend, you should get the cues of their mannerisms, of how they look at
right.
people and certain like that. I get that.
Right. Now, the Go Back to Rotten Tomatoes is still currently ranked at 75% by the critics and 76 by the audience. Too close in the sense of who to side with.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that score? Could it be 75? Could it be a little higher? Or what do you think?
As a overall project film, I think it mid to low 80s, I think it would be fine. It's a solid film.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah. Yeah.
like
I
there's
agree.
nothing in it that I can say critically is bad about the film overall.
Right.
Other It's more of a sense of
Hmm.
like knowing that environment in the community or having that
Right.
interest. That's the biggest
Hmm.
hook, I want to say. What about
Yeah.
you? Where you stand
Yeah.
on
I,
it?
I agree with you. I think the 80s, if it was revalued or reevaluated or reviewed again today, in a sense, by these audience and critics, I think the score will be higher because it is still relatable. Even though like some of the
Hmm.
landmarks or what have you, or the technology is still not the same. Because I
Yeah.
know there's people like, what the hell is that sidekick? They're like, I don't know what that is. Like, what the heck? But the story still holds.
Yeah.
And you'd still have people like Miranda who are total a-holes.
Yeah.
They don't care about your feelings. They don't care about you. Just get the work done, and they'll step on you. And like she did, she stepped on one of her best. I don't know I don't know if she ever considered him a best friend, Stanley Tucci's character Nigel, but she freaking stepped on him in the sense of
Didn't he
crushing his
say?
promotion.
Didn't he say like in one of the scenes? He's like, I've been with her for like, I want to say it's like 14, 19 years or something like that.
It was a long time. It was a
Yeah,
long time. He paid his dues and then some. Like
absolutely.
she could always count on him to get things done. Remember, like when they had that meeting, like he was on point, blah 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 blah, and like
Hmm.
everyone else was struggling to present stuff, but he knew what she wanted. And then she crushed him because of what that like a possible merger. Like she could have been out by by that French person that.
Jacqueline Follet.
Oh, Jacqueline. That's right, Jacqueline. Yeah, and I felt so bad. I was like, oh man,
And she's like, she'll pay me back for this. And she's like, are you sure about
somehow.
that? And he's like,
And
I
it's
have
like,
to believe it.
yeah, I have to be optimistic. Yeah, something like that. It's like yeah, but it's like, oh, because you felt for him because I liked him. I was like the way he was. He kind of reminded me of like in the same way, kind of his character from Captain America,
Oh
kind of.
yeah, I got you.
Like, but he was, and here it was kind of sarcastic, kind of belittling in a way, but also encouraging.
Yeah,
And so
even
yeah,
though
and
let's be
being he was
honest,
being honest.
even though he was giving quips and, let's be honest, insults, his insults,
Yeah.
I'll take his insults any day. Those were delightful insults.
Oh yeah, they were sharp. They were sharp,
He's
but
like, don't make me
and
feed
like
you to the models.
yeah.
And and that
He
first,
say he says it so quick. He says it so quick. He says it
yes.
so quick, and like when he's exiting the room or the scene, he says that, and yeah, yeah, yeah.
By the way,
No, he
that
had some great lines.
"Gird your loins" is him saying that at the beginning of the film,
That's right.
bringing
Yes, he
in
did say that.
Miranda.
Right. Oh, that's right. He did say that too. Yes. Even though we're almost done, we did forget to cover like one of our best scenes or the weakest.
What was yours? Let's start with you first.
It's kind of hard because like whatever Meryl Streep was in, awesome.
She was
Wherever
also
Stanley Tucci,
very good in this. I'm not gonna
yes,
lie.
and every scene with Stanley Tucci was awesome. So
Mhm.
it's kind of hard to like really figure out. I kind of like when Andy goes into the house to drop off the dry cleaners in the book,
And the
and
twins are
the
there?
kid, the twins,
Yeah.
fuck with her.
Yeah.
And then she's going up the steps, trying to because she can't remember where to put the book. And then she like eavesdrops and watches the couple fight,
Well,
and the
it's not that
husband
she
finds
couldn't
her.
remember. She was told to put it by the vase, and there's no vase there.
Right. And then the kids say, come upstairs. Give it to me. I'll take it, whatever. Regardless, though, that scene where the husband and her, and Miranda are arguing, and the husband catches her, and then she catches it, and she's like kind of like frozen. And the term, if looks could kill. And
Because that she got caught without her armor.
yeah, true. But I'm saying that like you saw that as like that powerful moment, like, oh shit, like what, and then she just
Mhm.
leaves the book at the top of the steps and then skedaddles. But it's just like that moment, like, oh shit, like what, like I couldn't remember from watching the first time, does she get fired? It's like that, what have you, blah, blah, blah. Or does she get punished for doing that? Not really. No, it's like she doesn't get punished.
Well, she was about to because that led into the whole Harry Potter thing, and she's like, "I want
Right.
the
That was a
manuscript."
test. Right. That was a test.
Well, she was
Exactly.
gonna fire her if she didn't get it, and it was basically
Right.
an impossible thing to do, and she does it, and
Right.
she's like, "Well, what about my
Right.
daughters?" And she's like, "They already have it,"
Okay. Oh, yeah,
and
right.
left
This
her
is an extra.
speechless.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. And then she, turns around. It's like that. But with Stanley, God, Stanley Tucci was just like,
He had fantastic moments, like,
no, I
when
know.
he's dressing her, designing her.
Mhm.
We've already talked about some of those other scenes, like the
Yeah.
celebration. Oh,
Yeah, the celebration, that I think that too, like what I was saying with that vest, and then celebrating, and like they're celebrating his possible future, which he thought was a shoe in, but also celebrating her losing weight, 2 sizes from 6 to 4. But what about weak moments? I think for me, the week was her boyfriend.
oh, Entourage?
Yeah, Entre. Yeah, home Aquaman. Yes, in that show, he was supposed to be Aquaman, working his way to get that role. But I think he was like the one. I think he was the weakest link of the
'Cause
movie. Of the
yeah,
movie.
'cause I kept looking back for the one friend who's, like, knows the fashion.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, and then the wife is like, "How the hell do you? Are
"Why do
you are
you
you
know so
hide?
much?"
Are you like in the closet or something?" It was just like, yeah. Even though I busted on Emily Blunt,
Yeah,
her look and stuff like that, her performance was great. She was
100%,
not the
yeah.
weakest link. Yeah, she was solid. you
Mhm.
know? But to me, I think he was weak.
He was
I don't know.
definitely supposed to be the fish out of water. There was times where I'm like, "Is the script trying to make him look like an asshole?" Because,
The
like,
birthday thing?
the birthday thing and them playing around with the fact that she's, like, all into her work and the design and the outfits. I'm like, I get why I would be upset about if I'm in a long-term relationship and all of a sudden, like, I can get over it, but just let me have my moment to be
Mhm,
upset that just blew me
mhm.
over. And especially if
Yeah.
I found out that
I
you
mean,
you blew me over so you can hang out with another man. Um,
no, but I think, like, I mean, I think his purpose in that was her past,
absolutely.
not her future. It was her past. Like, it was like her comfort, what have you, of what it was and where she was going. And, as we see that it went,
Because in truth,
she
I think
still
he was extremely supportive through,
oh,
like,
he
the
was.
majority of the project. He was like the husband to Meryl Streep's character, basically.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, that was to
But
show,
but
like, the path that she's gonna become Meryl Streep.
yeah, but the thing is also like it was kind of like I don't know, it was like for him being pissed off about the birthday thing. I guess if I was that age, I guess I would be pissed too.
Mhm.
No, since I'm older, I wouldn't be pissed because I'm not really big on birthdays
Yeah. I mean, he
anymore.
even
So,
called it,
but
he's like, "I'm a grown man. I'll get over it." And he's like, "I got over it." But he's like,
mhm,
the bigger issue is, like, you as a person has changed, and which was a valid concern. And that argument, that scene that you mentioned, that was a good scene between Meryl Streep and her husband going up the stairs.
mhm,
He talks and
mhm.
he's like, "I was there by myself again." And the people are gonna talk and da 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 da. So the parallels are absolutely there.
Even though his only had like maybe 2 scenes, maybe
Maybe.
definitely one.
Yeah.
But the thing is strong.
Yes,
You
it
know
drives a
what's going
point.
on.
Mhm.
Yes, it drives a point, right? And like you said, it was like mirroring what could have happened with Andy and her boyfriend
Absolutely.
if they stayed together. So yeah, yeah. All right, let's wrap this up. Is this worth the watch?
I think so,
Yeah,
especially if you're
it is.
into the fashion and whatnot, sure, go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, but don't have to be into that in the sense, like, because
Yeah.
again, it does is it's about women's empowerment. It's about coming of age in that aspect, finding your worth, your own worth through all that, being tempted and able to walk away from that temptation, because she was tempted through multiple things, not just the boyfriend or the possible new boyfriend, but the like I said, the glamour and the glitz and all that, that stuff, that lifestyle, which is very addicting to many people.
Yeah.
It's very addicting. Yeah. All right, guys, that is our review of 2006. This is the 20th anniversary, by the way. You knew that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 20th anniversary of The Devil Wears Prada. Have you seen it? Let us know in the comments below what was your favorite scene or least favorite. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm a Don.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.